Two questions immediately spring to mind when it comes to teaching someone to play music. What does it mean to perform well, and what may help an instructor to teach well? A good teacher should ensure that understanding is evident and attainable. Developing skill and knowledge in any area of learning requires the right focus, purpose, and the ability to review learning in a multitude of ways. This is certainly true for music performance, and we can learn a lot from applying the theory and research used for elite athletes, artists, and performers in all spheres into teaching music. Focusing on why we are teaching and then unpacking the how and the what are useful ways to organise teaching strategies and the learning experience. The first thing to remember is that the most effective teachers and learners constantly reflect and modify their actions. How often do you really stop, review and reflect on your own actions to try and assess and develop the purpose for your own success? Let's consider two similar but different scenarios in the music learning that accompanies a live performance. The scenario is two music students preparing for a final performance. Here are two different approaches, and you may wish to see where your habits and learning focus applies at present. Student 1 is totally focused on getting the highest mark and consistently reminds the teacher that they need to get an A or 90+ result, and that her parents are expecting success. The student wants to learn everything with intensity and application, and thoroughly ensures all pieces can be played from start to finish with confidence. Throughout the lesson, there is the constant reinforcement to build up that student. That sounds great. Ensure you focus on your stature and presence on stage. Make sure those rhythms are accurate, etc. Each time the student practices between lessons, they use multiple repetitions, continuing to try and perfect a delivery that is accurate and correct, often achieved through behaviours they have embedded in playing the repertoire many times. In essence, the student and teacher interaction in this lesson becomes focused and connected to the end product that will be presented. Here the end goal becomes making sure the performance is ready for presentation and can be played accurately and confidently. Student 2 similarly has a focus on doing well and would like to be successful, but the teacher and student also have a learning environment where there is a focus on continuous self-reflection and shared learning in lessons through observation, modelling, refinement and experimentation. They are continually identifying and modifying the learning process and behaviours, including strategies, while selecting small aspects of musical skill and related knowledge for correction and refinement. In essence, the student looks to develop their playing by becoming more aware of the marginal areas and the quality of their practice, and looks broadly at the dimensions of music beyond the score or recording to connect with the performance. The learning domains that we draw on to teach music and other disciplines include self-regulation, motivation theory and performance psychology. These disciplines often highlight that skillful or more intrinsically connected learners have an increased focus on the learning process as well as the outcome, while developing clearly articulated learning goals and thinking deeply about their performance. It makes sense that they also develop an increased sense of self-efficacy or belief in their own ability each time that they succeed. Subsequently, their performances are often more sustained as they have considered and prepared their works with consideration for a wide range of associated learning dimensions being overseen by a teacher who is willing to unpack the process for the learner. Like a successful athlete who regularly considers the many facets of their preparation and competition, making regular changes to achieve marginal gains, i.e. food, training, clothes, equipment, sleep and so on. The musician learner and the teacher who adopts a mindset of developing process awareness rather than just getting the product completed will most likely succeed more regularly, but most importantly, their passion, intrinsic drive and the joy of music making will allow them to develop an increased understanding of self-reflection and achieve at a high standard, while feeling complete as an individual. Here, the emotional feedback, social connection and continued feeling of increased purpose become part of that cyclical mode of learning, something that can be applied in areas beyond the stage or concert hall. Here the performer has a clear purpose, the why, and has used their knowledge of the how, the strategies, and the what, focus areas to develop competence. This is one example of some of the content we learn about and develop with musicians and teachers who study with us in the Master of Music Performance Teaching at the Melbourne Conservatorium of Music. Our course develops instrumental teachers for work in schools and other professional settings. The studio stream explores one-on-one teaching. Our material is built on the application of research in practice.